So we're down here today to start a new sandbar project because I don't have enough unfinished projects down here already. I've been talking about this for a while as well. I'm going to be carving a railroad into the side of the wall here. Just a little train that kind of comes in and out of tunnels, goes along the wall. It won't go all the way around, but eventually when we have more bar this way, it'll turn the corner and it'll go into another room over there. So the trains I'll be installing are these plastic 1990s Christmas tree trains. These were churned out in the late 80s, early 90s by a company called New Bright under a bunch of different names. Village Express, Santa's Express, Christmas Express, Dickinsville Express, Polar Express, Western Express. They're all the same train set with different stickers on them. A couple have different plastic colors. The thing I like about these is you can find these for like $5 to $10 for the whole set, and all the tracks fit together. I also like that everything is plastic, so it's not going to corrode or rust down here. The only metal in these is in the locomotive. There's actually a battery compartment and there's a motor in here. So these are self-propelled with 4 AA batteries. You don't need a little controller, you don't need to plug them into power, and I can put the locomotive in a dry box to keep it from rusting. They're not fantastic trains, but they're slightly better quality than some of the cheap toy trains you see today. They're a couple steps below HO scale regular toy trains. They're a couple steps above the really, really cheap stuff you get at the dollar store. New Bright claims this is HO scale, but I've showed before in other videos it's nowhere near HO scale. It's more like S. And I can't even find S anymore. Nobody sells S, nobody makes S. It like doesn't exist on eBay or Amazon. So these are a very weird scale. We've got over a dozen of these sets. I've set these up out in my yard before. I used them as an outdoor railway. They're probably not really UV stable, but we're down in a cave, so there's no UV. The water won't affect them, the humidity won't affect them. I think once these are set up, they'll stay here pretty much forever. I've taken a break from digging and come above ground to the upper field here to talk about the sponsor for today's video, EIoT Club. These are SIM cards specifically designed for connected Internet of Things devices. We have a remote solar-powered security camera over there, which uses one of these EIoT Club SIM cards, and that lets me log into this pan-tilt zoom camera, run it around the upper field here, see if there are any deer in the orchard, see if anybody's using our trampolines, keep an eye on things, and have a little peace of mind when I'm not here at the property myself. I'll show you what that looks like for both day and night mode. It's a nice little camera. It's made by one of the partners of EIoT Club, and these guys provide the SIM cards for things like that, for other connected devices. If we had a weather station out here, we could use a SIM card like this to upload our weather data to the cloud or back to home base. We could use it for other things like device monitoring, location tracking on vehicles. There are all kinds of applications where you need a 4G SIM card, but you don't necessarily want to pay for an expensive plan from your cell phone company. That's where these guys come in. A whole year of service on this thing costs about $140. That's less than $12 a month. And it works with all of the major cell phone companies. This thing works with Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Okay, we just put in the new card, and there the camera is just popped up on our camera app. So, yeah. Let's see, yep, there it is. Pretty much a live view. Rotate our camera around here. So yeah, cameras like this and EIoT Club Sims are a great addition to this property. I log into this when I'm at home, if I want to see what the weather looks like before I come out to Sandland, if I want to see does the lawn need mowing up here, do we need to do some work, and once we have our geodesic dome put up, we'll be able to keep an eye on that from our camera here as well. So if you want to check these guys out, I will throw a link down in the description. Like I said, I actually use this on a very regular basis. I'm not just pushing them because they sent me a free SIM card. I actually really like them. Thank you again to EIoT Club for sponsoring this video and supporting Sandland. Let's get back underground and do some more digging. All right, well, the little handy cam here is not behaving today. I've charged all these batteries, including the question mark battery that may or may not work. None of them have any power. So, a little handy cam, it might be time to throw this in the trash. Anyway, what I've been trying to film on the handy cam, but it won't work, so I've resorted to the phone, is this. I have kind of a wall train set up. So we have that coming out of the closet, going through a couple tunnels, going through a couple little benches along the wall here, and then over here, and eventually I think this particular spot is going to be kind of a bigger train yard, but that'll have to be another trip because it's already getting kind of late here, and yeah, I'm running out of patience for this train project and my camera problems. So people have asked if we can coat the sandstone with anything to reinforce it, and Carl's got a little test area here where he's got some chicken wire or hardware cloth screwed into the wall, and then he's got some cement over the top. He's got another spot here with a slightly different mixture, and then some floor concrete. A couple different spots here. So yeah, this is all experimental. I have not been directly involved with this, but I will follow up with this and let people know what comes of this experiment here. Another random Sandland side project, since I always love my side projects. I made this nice little sign. This may be a parody of another popular mine sign that you find out west. So that welcomes visitors into the maze. Before we get back to the train, I do want to try the shop vac idea down in the manhole once more. I brought down a smaller shop vac. That one with the leaf blower didn't work at all. I was going to do a whole separate video on that, but that was basically a failed project. So if I use that footage, it'll be in a blooper reel or failed video reel or something like that. Speaking of failures, I have forgotten my big filming light today. I've left that at home charging, so I'm trying to film this with a combination of little lights, so it might be kind of dark in here. This footage might not be so great today. Now this shop vac is already on its last legs. It's one from my house that I've given up on and I've replaced. The motor already sounds terrible, and putting a bunch of sand through it probably won't help. But let's see if it can lift some of the sand out of our manhole dig. Just about full here. So yeah, this definitely does move the sand out of the hole, and it's got quite a bit in there. And it would be nice to get a bigger one with a bigger hose to get a little more volume out. This is really slow, but it does beat bucketing it out by hand. All right, the vacuum is working well enough. We're going to come back to that another time. Let's keep working on the train project. Now, as you may have guessed, the sand does build up on the track, especially when I bed the track in place and use the sand as ballast. And the little train doesn't like that very much. Its little plastic wheels don't like going over sand, so we need to find a way to clear the track off. In the short term, I'm trying something very simple, just a paintbrush, to kind of brush the sand out of the tracks. We still want some sand in between there for ballast, but we don't want it on the actual rails. We're still having some derailment issues getting through skeleton land here, so the track is still a little bit of a work in progress. So our next order of business with the train is to extend this alcove back into the wall. I want this to be deep enough that the train can turn around, and we're actually going to have another tunnel from there that goes back into the closet, which is over there. Eventually, this wall at the end of the bar is going to be extended out, and it's going to tee off. I keep saying eventually. I've been saying this for many, many videos. This is going to be on the order of years before we have that tee finished. And the branch going that way will have more train going around it. We'll have more tunnels this way. But for now, to get a full loop of the train, we're going to have to go back into the sandstone, curve around back into that storage closet where it originates, and then the train can just go in a continuous loop, barring any unforeseen difficulties at Skeleton Gulch. I just ran out of power, so I gotta go outside and see if the generator's out of gas or something. Alright, yep, sounds like the generator has quit. You wouldn't know it by looking around, but this is mid-December in Wisconsin. It is about 50 degrees out, it's raining, so this feels just like home in Southeast Alaska to me. This is t-shirt weather. Well now, one of my chisels has just stopped working completely. So I guess we're gonna have to take this one home and see if we can figure out what's wrong with it. This is definitely going a little slower today than I hoped. I don't know if we're gonna get our full loop of train in today. We might have to leave that for another video because I've got a bunch of other stuff going on. Let's take a quick look at another Sandland project that someone else is working on. I've mentioned before, I am not the owner of Sandland and I'm not the only volunteer. So there are other people doing their own projects, doing their own little digs off of here, all kinds of things going on in the tunnels. Let's see, I think it's down this tunnel. I actually get turned around in here sometimes. I'll come down in here and there will be all new tunnels that somebody's dug out. So yeah, it's always something different. I may have shown this before. This is a future spiral stairway. I'm not gonna crawl in there because that's still under construction. There's this little crawl going way up and there is a room up there. I honestly don't know what's up there. I've never been up there. I've never seen that room. That hole is about the size of my rear end. So I'm not scared of small spaces. I'm not claustrophobic, but I don't enjoy getting stuck and I really don't enjoy crawling these days. So yeah, up that hole is a part of Sandland I have never seen, and I don't know when I'm gonna see it because I'm really not motivated to crawl up there. Maybe once it's done, once it's cooler up there, once it's worth going up, maybe I'll do it. Follow up on the shop vac in case I forgot to do that earlier. We have actually gotten all of the loose sand out of the manhole, so all that's left down there is just the bigger rocks and chunks that the vacuum would not pick up. I think that worked pretty well. We're gonna have to get a bigger shop vac and pull out some of those rocks with it. You may have noticed my video just got brighter. That's because I found one of my big flashlights buried in the sand in the corner of the bar. So yeah, that's how organized I am. I'm just losing equipment in here. Speaking of organization, my next task is to reorganize my dry box here. This is what I keep all the tools in down in the tunnel. So this is a sealed box. It's like a Pelican case. I think it's a knockoff brand. It's from Axeman Surplus. But it's basically a watertight, airtight case. I've got some silica gel stuff in there to try to absorb any moisture that gets inside, and that keeps all of my tools dry. The tunnel here is about 100% humidity all the time. We can't do anything about that, and we don't really want to, because if the humidity gets too low, if this dries out, the sandstone gets crumbly. So the humidity actually helps keep everything stable in here. But again, that means if we have any tools, anything with metal, anything that will rust or decay, we have to keep it in a watertight box. I don't even really know what's in here anymore. Extra respirators, trash, spare tool parts. I've been looking for that. Spare gloves, been looking for that too. Look, I haven't even opened this. I've got this level in here that I haven't even used yet. These are the silica things I've been using. I think this is a new one, so we'll open this up and replace it. This is some cement, and you can tell it's dry in here because this hasn't cooked off. This hasn't turned solids. All right, I've definitely just dropped my phone down the manhole. My friend Paul is going to come through in a moment and do a 3D LiDAR scan of all the tunnels. So we're going to pause operations for a moment, let him do that, and then maybe we'll show you what that looks like. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap this video up. Unfortunately, I did not get quite as much of the train done as I wanted to, but it's December, it's almost the holidays, it's almost New Year. We're not gonna get back out here again for probably a month, so we're not gonna get any time to work on this train for quite a while. So It'd be a long time to go without releasing a Sandland video. I figured I'd better just get it out there. Stay tuned to see the further continuation of the sandbar train and, of course, the rest of the sandbar tunnel here. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Turn and chooch.